Your power could go out tonight, and when it does, you'll have exactly 4 minutes to find a flashlight in the dark before panic sets in. Last year alone, the average American lost power for over 8 hours. Some individuals experience power outages for days, some for weeks, and 90% of them, they weren't ready. But you're about to be different. In the next 10 minutes, I'm showing you 12 items that separate the prepared from the desperate. And trust me, number 12, it's literally the difference between life and death. Let's go. Here's what nobody tells you about power outages. They don't just turn off your lights. They shut down your water pumps. They kill your phone signal. They spoil every meal in your fridge within hours. And here's the kicker. America experiences more power outages than any other developed country on Earth. Our grid is old, our weather is getting worse. And the next blackout isn't coming. It's already scheduled. You just don't know when. So today, we're building your survival kit. 72 hours of complete independence. Everything you need fits in one closet. You'll regret lacking things starting now. Number 1, water storage. All right, item number 1, and this might shock you. Water? I know what you're thinking. Water? Really? But here's what happened in Texas during the 2021 winter storm. 7 million people lost power. But here's the part nobody expected. 4.5 million people lost running water. Pipes froze. Pumps died. And families were left with nothing to drink. Listen to this. Your body can survive 3 weeks without food. But without water, 3 days. That's it. 72 hours and you're in serious trouble. So here's the rule. 1 gallon per person per day. Minimum 3 days. That means if you're a family of 4, you need 12 gallons sitting in your home right now. And I'm not talking about drinking water only. You need water to brush your teeth, to wash your hands, to flush toilets when the pressure drops. Now here's what most people forget. Your pets. Your dog doesn't care that the power's out. He's still thirsty. Add another gallon per day for each pet. The fix is simple. Hit the grocery store, grab cases of bottled water, or invest in 5-gallon water containers. Stack them in your garage, your closet, or under your bed. And here's a pro tip from emergency responders. Fill your bathtub the moment you hear a storm warning. That's 50 gallons of backup water for washing and flushing. Not for drinking, but for everything else. Water isn't glamorous. It's not exciting. But when your tap runs dry at 2 in the morning and your kid is crying because they're thirsty, you'll thank yourself for storing it. Item number 1. Check. Let's move to number 2. Number 2. Portable power bank and solar charger. Okay, story time. Last winter, Texas went dark for 5 days straight. Temperatures dropped below 0. And you know what killed people? It wasn't the cold. It was isolation. Families couldn't call for help. Elderly neighbors couldn't reach their kids. Why? Dead phones. Here's the brutal truth. Your smartphone battery lasts maybe 12 hours with moderate use. During a blackout, you're checking for updates every 5 minutes. Calling family. Looking for shelter locations. That battery dies in 4 hours. Maybe less. And when it dies, you're completely cut off from the world. This is why a portable power bank isn't optional anymore. It's survival gear. I'm talking about a minimum 10,000 milliamp hour capacity. That's at least 3 full phone charges. But here's what smart people are doing in 2025. They're going solar. Solar power banks change the game. You stick it on your windowsill during the day, and boom, unlimited power. No outlet needed. No generator required. The sun does all the work. And listen, these aren't the cheap solar panels from 10 years ago that barely charged a calculator. Modern solar chargers can fully power your phone in 3 to 4 hours of sunlight. Here's a wild stat from recent reports. During extended outages, families with solar chargers stayed connected 72% longer than those without. 72%. That's the difference between reaching emergency services and sitting in the dark hoping someone remembers you exist. And it's not just phones. Think about it. Your kid's tablet that keeps them calm during chaos, your wireless radio, your medical devices, that LED headlamp we just talked about with a USB port. Everything runs on power now. So here's your move. Get one high-capacity power bank, 20,000 milliamp hours if you've got a family, and grab at least one solar charger as backup. Keep them charged. Test them every month. Because when the grid fails, your connection to the outside world depends on what's in your hand, not what's in the wall. Don't wait until you're sitting in the dark with 2% battery, desperately trying to text your mom that you're okay. Get this handled today. 3. Battery-powered or hand-crank radio. Picture this. February 2021, Texas. 5 million people lost power. Cell towers collapsed within hours. Internet, dead. Social media, gone. People were trapped in their homes with no idea if help was coming. No idea when the water would return. No idea how bad it was getting outside their walls. But here's the thing. While everyone else was panicking in silence, a small group of families knew exactly what was happening. They had one device that never stopped working. An emergency radio. Listen closely. When your phone dies and the internet crashes, there's still one network that keeps broadcasting. No AA weather radio. Over 1,000 transmitters across America. Broadcasting 24/7. And they don't need Wi-Fi. They don't need cell towers. They don't even need electricity from your house. Here's what you need. A battery-powered or hand-crank emergency radio. The best models in 2025, like the Midland ER3 Hygiene, can run for 32 hours on a single charge. But here's the genius part. 1 minute of cranking gives you 20 minutes of listening time. That means you're never cut off. Ever. These radios automatically receive emergency alerts without you even tuning into a NOAA station. Tornado warnings. Hurricane updates. Evacuation orders. They wake you up at night if danger is coming. NOAA stations have a range of about 40 miles from the transmitter, so you're covered almost everywhere in America. And here's what shocked me during research. 1 minute of hand cranking on quality models provides almost 11 minutes of charge. Some newer models have 10,000 milliamp hour batteries that can also charge your phone 3 times over. The bottom line? While everyone else is scrolling dead screens wondering what to do, you'll know exactly what's happening and where to go. This isn't just about staying informed. This is about staying alive. 4. LED flashlights and headlamps. Okay, story time, February 2021, Texas. Millions without power for a week. And you know what killed more people than the cold? Falls. Broken bones, head injuries, people stumbling around in the dark trying to find a flashlight. Let that sink in. Here's the thing. Your phone's flashlight? Dead in 2 hours max? Those old yellow flashlights from the 90s sitting in your junk drawer? The batteries leaked years ago. You just don't know it yet, so listen close. You need LED flashlights. Not just any flashlights. LED. Why? Because a single modern LED flashlight runs for 20 straight hours on one set of batteries. 20 hours. That's almost a full day of light from something that fits in your pocket. And here's what emergency management experts discovered in 2025. The #1 injury during blackouts? It's not what you think. It's people carrying flashlights and trying to do tasks at the same time. Holding a baby, opening a can, trying to fix something, you need both hands free. That's where headlamps become your secret weapon. Strap it on your forehead. Boom. Your hands free. You can cook. You can read to your kids. You can change a diaper without dropping the flashlight in the toilet. True story. Happened to my neighbor. Now here's the critical part everyone misses. You need one flashlight for every single person in your house. Not one for the family, one per person. Because when the lights go out at 2 in the morning and your kid needs to use the bathroom, you're not going to wake everyone up searching for the one flashlight. And those headlamps I mentioned, they're waterproof now. Stormproof. Some models last in freezing temperatures, so when that winter outage hits and you need to check your pipes or go outside to start your generator, that headlamp is still working when everything else quits. Quick reality check. Quality LED flashlights cost around $15 to $30. That's less than dinner for 2, but it could literally save you from a broken hip when you're trying to navigate your stairs in pitch black. One more thing. Buy extra batteries. Not tomorrow. Today. Because when the power goes out, the stores sell out of batteries in under an hour. I've seen it happen. Shelves cleared, people fighting over double A's like it's the end of days. Here's your action step. Get one high-quality LED flashlight with at least a 20-hour battery life for each family member. Add 2 headlamps to your kit, and stock up on enough batteries to refill every device twice. That's your baseline. And please, for the love of everything, do not rely on candles. I know they look cozy, I know they're cheap, but the fire department reports a 300% spike in house fires during power outages. 300%. All from candles tipping over in the dark. Don't be a statistic. Your flashlight is your lifeline. Treat it like one. Number 5, non-perishable food supply. All right, let's talk about food. And I need to tell you something that happened during the Texas blackout of 2021. Families were trapped in their homes for 6 days. You know what ran out first? Not water, not batteries. It was food, real food. People were eating raw pasta because they had nothing else. One woman told reporters she fed her kids mustard packets from her junk drawer. Mustard packets. Let that sink in. Here's the brutal truth. Your fridge becomes useless in 4 hours. Your freezer? Maybe 24 if you're lucky. After that, everything you own turns into expensive garbage. So here's what you actually need. A 3-day supply minimum of food that doesn't need cooking, doesn't need cold storage, and doesn't expire next month. We're talking canned soup, tuna, beans, peanut butter is gold, granola bars, crackers, dried fruit, beef jerky. And here's the game changer that preppers discovered. Those emergency food kits? They last 10 years, some even 15. You buy it once, forget about it, and when disaster hits, you're eating real meals while your neighbors are fighting over the last bag of chips at a closed gas station. But listen, none of this matters if you forget one thing. The manual can opener? I'm not joking. During Hurricane Katrina, people had cans of food and absolutely no way to open them. Don't be that person. $5 solves this problem forever. Stock up now. Because when the power goes out, the grocery stores close within hours. And even if they're open, the credit card machines don't work. Which brings me to our next item. 6. First aid kit. Okay, listen to this. During the 2003 New York blackout, emergency rooms saw something absolutely terrifying. Accidental deaths skyrocketed by 122%. 122%. Think about that for a second. You know what caused most of those injuries? Simple stuff. People stumbling in the dark, cutting themselves trying to open cans by candlelight, burns from handling flashlights wrong, tripping over furniture they've walked past every single day for years. Here's the thing nobody warns you about. When the lights go out, your home becomes a minefield. That coffee table you usually avoid without thinking, now it's invisible. Those stairs you run up and down, death traps. Even opening a drawer becomes dangerous when you can't see what's inside. Recent data from 2024 shows that 1 in 4 American households experienced a power outage that year. And guess what? Most injuries happen in the first 30 minutes. Why? Because people panic. They rush around. They forget where things are. They use their phone flashlight to cook. They trip. They fall. They bleed. So here's what you absolutely need in your first aid kit right now. Bandages and gauze. Not just a couple. I'm talking a full box. During blackouts, cuts happen constantly. Glass breaks. Sharp objects become invisible weapons, antiseptic wipes, and antibiotic ointment. Because when you get cut in the dark and you can't clean it properly, that's how infections start. And trust me, you don't want an infection when hospitals are already overwhelmed with power outage emergencies. Pain relievers. Ibuprofen. Acetaminophen. Both. Because headaches hit hard when you're stressed. And if someone falls or bumps into something, pain management becomes critical. Medical tape and scissors. You'll need to secure bandages, cut gauze, maybe even cut clothing away from a wound. A digital thermometer. Fever during an outage can mean infection. You need to catch it early. Tweezers. For splinters. For removing debris from cuts. For those tiny injuries that become huge problems if ignored. And here's the most important part. Prescription medications. 7 days minimum. The research from Hurricane Maria is haunting. Even a year after power was restored, people still couldn't get their prescriptions refilled normally. If you're on heart medication, blood pressure pills, insulin, or anything else that keeps you alive, stock extra. Talk to your doctor. Explain you're building an emergency kit. Store everything in a waterproof container. Keep it somewhere everyone in your family knows about. Not buried in a closet, not in the basement where you can't reach it, somewhere accessible. Because when someone's bleeding in the dark, you've got maybe 60 seconds before panic sets in. And one more thing. Check your kit every 6 months. Medications expire, bandages get dusty, batteries in that thermometer die. Set a reminder on your phone right now. January 1st and July 1st. Check your kit. Because here's the brutal truth. Studies show that most injuries during power outages are totally preventable. They happen because people aren't prepared. They happen because someone thought they'd be fine without a proper first aid kit. Don't be that person. This $50 investment, it could save someone's life in your home, maybe even yours. Next item. 7. Cash and small bills. Okay, here's a story that'll make your stomach drop. September 2023. A major storm hit the East Coast. Power went out across 3 states. A father needed to buy diapers for his newborn. He drove to 5 different stores. Every single one? Open. But here's the nightmare. None of them could process his credit card. No power meant no card readers. No ATMs working. He had $40,000 in his bank account. But in that moment, he was broke. Completely helpless. All because he had 0 cash on hand. Listen to me carefully. When the grid goes down, your money becomes invisible. Your bank balance doesn't matter. Your credit score is worthless. That plastic card in your wallet? It's just a piece of plastic. Cash is the only currency that survives a blackout. Here's what you need to do right now. Pull out $200 to $300. Break it into small bills. 1s, 5s, 10s, and 20s. Why small bills? Because during an emergency, nobody has change. You hand someone a $100 bill for a $20 item, good luck getting $80 back. Store owners are struggling too. And here's the latest trend that most people miss. Gas stations are the first to run out of power. Your car might have half a tank, but can you pay for more? According to recent data from 2025, over 70% of Americans carry less than $50 in cash. That means when disaster strikes, the majority of people are completely vulnerable. Hide this cash somewhere safe but accessible. Not in your wallet where it can be stolen. Not in a safe you'll forget the combination to during panic. Think waterproof bag. Think inside a book. Think creatively. Because when the lights go out and the systems crash, the people with cash, they eat, they buy supplies, they take care of their families. Everyone else? They wait in line, hoping things get better. Don't be everyone else. 8. Battery-powered fan or extra blankets. Let me tell you about Texas, February 2021. The power went out during a brutal winter storm. Temperatures dropped to single digits. And here's the heartbreaking part. People died. Not outside. Inside their own homes, because they didn't have enough blankets. They tried using their gas ovens for heat. Carbon monoxide poisoning. Fatal mistake. Now flip the script. Summer 2024. Heat waves are hitting record numbers. Power grids are failing because everyone's cranking their AC at once. When that power dies during a 95-degree day, your home becomes an oven in less than 2 hours, especially for kids and elderly folks. This is why item 8 isn't optional anymore. It's seasonal survival. For winter blackouts, get heavy-duty sleeping bags rated for at least 20 degrees. Stack extra blankets. Wool is king here because it insulates even when damp. Layer up your family in one room. Body heat becomes your furnace. For summer outages, battery-powered fans are absolute game changers. Look for ones that run at least 8 hours on a full charge. Some newer models even have USB ports. During a heat emergency, wet a bandana with your stored water, drape it on your neck, and sit in front of that fan. Instant relief. Here's your reality check. Temperature-related deaths during power outages have jumped 30% in the last 3 years. Your body can only handle extremes for so long. And listen carefully. Never, ever use a gas stove, oven, or grill indoors for heat. I don't care how cold it gets. That's how families don't wake up. Spend $50 now on a good fan and quality blankets. Or risk everything later. Your choice. 9. Portable phone charger. Here's a story that'll chill you to the bone. During the Texas winter storm in 2021, a family got separated. Dad was stuck at work. Mom and 2 kids were home. The power died. And you know what killed their ability to reunite? Dead phones. Every single device in that house hit 0% within 6 hours. No way to call. No way to text. There was no way to know if everyone was safe. They didn't see each other for 3 days. Now, you might be thinking, wait, didn't we just talk about power banks? Yes, but here's what most people miss. A power bank charges your phone. A portable phone charger keeps your entire family connected. We're talking multiple USB ports. We're talking the ability to charge 3, 4, or even 5 devices at once. Because during a power outage, it's not just your phone that dies. It's your kid's tablet, your spouse's phone, your elderly parent's medical alert device. Here's the latest data from 2025. The average household now has 4.2 devices that need charging during an emergency. 4.2. And a single power bank? It'll charge maybe 1 or 2 phones before it's toast. That's why you need both. The power bank is your personal lifeline. The portable charger is your family's communication hub. And here's the pro move nobody talks about. Pre-charge these things before storm season. Mark it on your calendar. September for hurricane season. November for winter storms. Because the worst time to discover your charger is dead? When the lights go out. Keep it at 100%. Keep it accessible. And keep your family connected when everything else falls apart. Number 10. Basic hygiene supplies. All right, here's the uncomfortable truth nobody talks about. When the power goes out, your toilet might stop working. Yeah, you heard that right. Your toilet. And I'm not talking about some rare scenario. I'm talking about right now, in your home, if the lights go out tonight. Let me paint you a picture. It's day 2 of the blackout. The storm is still raging outside. You've got no power, no running water. And suddenly, you realize something terrifying. You can't flush. If you live in an apartment building, those electric water pumps that push water to your unit? Dead. If you're on well water like millions of Americans, that pump that pulls water from underground? It needs electricity. No power means no water. And if you've got a septic system with an effluent pump, flushing even once could cause sewage to back up into your home. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to prepare you. Because here's what emergency responders saw during the Texas winter storm in 2021. Families trapped in their homes for a week. No power, no water, and no way to maintain basic sanitation. People were using snow to manually flush toilets. Others were lining buckets with trash bags because they had no other option. So, let's talk about hygiene supplies. The stuff that keeps you human when everything else fails. First, wet wipes and baby wipes. Stock at least 200 of these. When you can't shower for 3 days, these become your best friend. They clean your hands, your face, your whole body if needed. And unlike regular toilet paper, they actually disinfect. Hand sanitizer. Get the big bottles. At least 60% alcohol content. Recent guidelines from the CDC in 2024 confirm that alcohol-based sanitizers are your strongest defense against bacteria when soap and water aren't available. Keep 1 bottle in your emergency kit and another in every room. Toilet paper. I know this sounds obvious, but during the 2020 pandemic, we all learned how fast this disappears from shelves. Store at least a 30-day supply. That's roughly 1 roll per person per week. So 12 rolls minimum for a family of 4. Here's the game changer that most people miss. Heavy-duty trash bags. Not the cheap kitchen ones. I'm talking contractor-grade thick black bags. Why? Because if your toilet won't flush and you have no water, you're going to need the double bag method. You line your toilet bowl with 2 bags, use it, tie it up, and dispose of it safely. It's not pretty, but it works. And it prevents sewage backup that could cost you thousands in repairs. Feminine hygiene products. If you have women or girls in your household, stock at least a 3-month supply. These don't expire, and during emergencies, they're impossible to find in stores. Bucket and extra water storage. Fill your bathtub the second you hear a storm warning. One bathtub holds about 50 gallons. That's enough for 50 manual toilet flushes. You pour about 1 gallon of water directly into the toilet bowl in one fast motion, and gravity does the rest. Boom. Flush complete. No electricity needed. Bleach. Unscented household bleach. Just 1 tablespoon mixed with a gallon of water becomes a powerful disinfectant. You can sanitize surfaces, clean your hands in emergencies, and even purify questionable water if you're desperate. It's cheap, it's effective, and 1 bottle lasts for months. And here's the thing most people don't think about until it's too late. Dental hygiene. Toothbrushes, toothpaste, and floss. Your mouth is a breeding ground for bacteria. 3 days without brushing, and you're risking infections that could land you in the ER. During a power outage, that's the last place you want to be. Total cost for all these hygiene supplies? Maybe $50 to $70. That's it. But the dignity, comfort, and health they provide during a crisis? Priceless. Trust me on this. When you're stuck in the dark, cold, and dirty, these supplies are the difference between surviving and actually living. Don't skip this one. Number 11. Important documents. All right, number 11 might sound boring, but stay with me because this one hits different. Picture this. It's 2 in the morning. The power's been out for 6 hours. Suddenly, you hear it. Fire trucks, police sirens. Someone's yelling, "Evacuate! Evacuate now!" You've got 3 minutes to grab what matters and get out. And here's the thing that destroys families every single year. They grab their kids, they grab their pets, but they forget the one thing that proves their entire life exists. No ID? You can't get into a shelter. No insurance papers? Good luck rebuilding your home. No medical records? The hospital has no idea you're allergic to penicillin. And no, you can't just look it up online when the power grid is down and your phone's dead. Here's what you need right now. A waterproof document bag. $15. Inside go copies of your driver's license, passport, birth certificates, insurance policies, mortgage papers, and your kids' vaccination records. Recent bank statements, social security cards. And here's the game changer nobody talks about. Medical records with current prescriptions and allergies. 1 sheet of paper could save your life in an emergency room, but don't stop there. Make digital copies. USB drive, cloud backup, email them to yourself. Because in 2025, identity theft after disasters is skyrocketing. People lose everything, and scammers know it. Last thing, write down emergency contacts, actual phone numbers. Because when your phone dies, you won't remember your sister's number. You won't remember your insurance agent. You won't remember anything except the panic. 1 waterproof bag, 20 minutes of work. The difference between recovering in weeks or losing everything forever. Don't skip this one. Number 12. Carbon monoxide detector with battery backup. All right, we've covered 11 essential items, but this last one, this is the one that keeps me up at night. Because this is the item that 90% of people skip. And it's the difference between waking up the next morning and not waking up at all. Let me tell you about Texas. February 2021. The power grid collapsed during a winter storm. Millions of people lost electricity. And you know what happened? Over 300 cases of carbon monoxide poisoning in Harris County alone. Several people died. Not from the cold, not from the storm, from their own generators. Here's the terrifying part. Carbon monoxide is completely invisible. No color, no smell, no taste. You can't see it coming. You can't sense it. By the time you feel dizzy or nauseous, you're already poisoned. And if you're asleep when it happens, you'll never wake up. A single portable generator produces as much carbon monoxide as hundreds of cars combined. That's not a typo. Hundreds of cars. And every single year, portable generators alone kill nearly 100 Americans. That makes them one of the most dangerous consumer devices you can buy. But here's what really gets me. Deaths from carbon monoxide poisoning have increased 85% over the last decade. Why? Because power outages are becoming more frequent. Climate change, aging infrastructure, extreme weather. People are buying more generators, and they're making the same deadly mistakes. They put the generator in the garage with the door open. They think that's enough ventilation. It's not. They put it on the porch, still too close. They run it near a window. Carbon monoxide seeps inside. Within hours, entire families are unconscious. So here's what you absolutely must do. Buy a carbon monoxide detector with battery backup. Not just electric. Battery backup. Because when the power goes out, an electric-only detector becomes a useless piece of plastic on your wall. Install one on every level of your home, especially outside bedrooms where people sleep. That's where it matters most, because you need to hear that alarm if carbon monoxide starts building up while you're asleep. Replace the batteries every year. Test it every month, just like your smoke detector. And replace the entire unit every 5 years. These things save lives, but only if they're working. This detector costs $30 to $50. That's it. $30 to protect your entire family from a silent killer. There is no excuse not to have one. None. And if you already have one, check it right now. Make sure it has fresh batteries. Make sure it's working. Because when that next power outage hits, you might fire up a generator. You might use a camp stove. You might burn charcoal to stay warm. And if you do any of those things wrong, carbon monoxide will find its way into your home. And the only thing standing between you and tragedy is that little alarm on your wall. Don't be a statistic. Get the detector today. That's it. 12 items. 1 power outage. 0 panic. Look, I can't predict when your lights will go out. But I can promise you this. The people who prepare never regret it. The people who don't always wish they had. So build that kit today. Share this video with someone you care about, and I'll see you in the next one.